Have you ever looked at your own behavior and wondered, why do I do this? Why do some people apologize constantly, even when they did nothing wrong? Why do some feel guilty for resting? Why do others panic when someone doesn't reply to a text? Most people think these are just personality traits, but psychology suggests something deeper. Many adult habits are actually survival strategies formed during childhood. When a child grows up in a stressful, emotionally unstable, or neglectful environment, the brain adapts to survive. And the scary part is, those adaptations often continue into adulthood long after the danger is gone. Today, we're going to explore 5 common habits that may actually be signs of unresolved childhood trauma. Not to diagnose you, not to shame anyone, but to help you understand yourself better. Because once you understand the origin of a behavior, you stop blaming yourself for it. Let's begin. Habit number 1, constantly apologizing. Some people apologize for everything. Sorry for texting, sorry for asking, sorry for existing. Even when they've done absolutely nothing wrong. Psychologists often connect excessive apologizing to childhood environments where a child was made to feel like a burden. Maybe they were criticized constantly. Maybe they had emotionally unpredictable parents. Or maybe they learned that staying small kept them safe. Over time, the child's brain develops a survival rule. If I upset people, I might lose love or safety. So they become hyper-aware of other people's emotions. They try to avoid conflict at all costs, and apologizing becomes automatic. In adulthood, this can look polite on the surface, but underneath, it's often fear. Fear of rejection, fear of anger, fear of abandonment. Healthy relationships don't require you to apologize for taking up space. You are allowed to have needs, opinions, and boundaries without feeling guilty. Habit number 2, being hyper-independent. At first glance, hyper-independence looks admirable. These are the people who say, I don't need anyone. I'll handle it myself. I hate asking for help. But psychology shows that extreme independence can sometimes be a trauma response. Children who grew up emotionally neglected often learned very early that nobody was coming to help them, so they stopped depending on others altogether. Maybe their feelings were ignored. Maybe they were forced to grow up too quickly. Maybe asking for help only led to disappointment. As adults, they struggle to trust people, not because they're cold, but because relying on others once felt unsafe. The problem is that humans are wired for connection. We all need support sometimes, and healing often begins when a person realizes, I had to survive alone back then, but I don't have to anymore. True strength is not refusing help. True strength is feeling safe enough to receive it. Habit number 3, overthinking everything. Do you replay conversations in your head for hours? Analyze someone's tone endlessly? Assume the worst from tiny changes in behavior? That kind of overthinking is often linked to hypervigilance. Hypervigilance is a psychological state where the brain stays constantly alert for danger. It commonly develops in children raised in chaotic or unpredictable homes. For example, if a parent's mood changed suddenly, the child learned to monitor every detail. How are they walking? What tone are they using? Are they angry today? The child's brain becomes trained to scan for threats all the time. Later in adulthood, that same survival mechanism can turn into anxiety, people-pleasing, or emotional exhaustion. The person isn't dramatic. Their nervous system simply learned that small signals could lead to big consequences. And that's why relaxing can feel strangely uncomfortable for trauma survivors. Their brain mistakes calmness for danger because chaos once felt normal. Habit number 4, feeling responsible for everyone's emotions. Some people feel emotionally responsible for everyone around them. If someone is upset, they immediately blame themselves. If there's tension in a room, they rush to fix it. They become the therapist, peacemaker, and emotional caretaker for everyone else. This often begins in childhood through a process psychologists call parentification. Parentification happens when a child is forced to take on emotional responsibilities beyond their age. Maybe they had to comfort a parent, protect siblings, or manage the emotional stability of the household. Instead of being cared for, they became the caretaker. As adults, they may struggle with boundaries because their self-worth became tied to being useful to others. But here's the truth. You are not responsible for regulating everyone else's emotions. Supporting people is healthy. Sacrificing yourself to keep everyone happy is not. A child learns survival through people-pleasing. An adult learns healing through boundaries. Habit number 5, feeling guilty when resting. Have you ever tried to relax and immediately felt guilty? Like you should be working harder, doing more, or being more productive? For many trauma survivors, rest doesn't feel safe. Children raised in highly critical or unstable environments often learned that love was conditional. They were praised only when achieving something, behaving perfectly, or being useful. As a result, their nervous system connects self-worth with productivity. So even during rest, their brain whispers, "You're lazy. You're wasting time. You're falling behind." But rest is not laziness. Rest is a biological need, and constantly staying busy can actually become a way to avoid painful emotions. Many people don't realize this, but burnout is sometimes unresolved trauma wearing the mask of ambition. Healing means learning that your value does not disappear when you stop producing. You deserve rest even when you haven't earned it. Final thoughts. Here's the important thing to remember. Trauma doesn't always look dramatic. Sometimes it looks like overexplaining yourself. Sometimes it looks like perfectionism. Sometimes it looks like being too nice. Many behaviors that society praises are actually coping mechanisms built from emotional pain. But recognizing these patterns is powerful because awareness is the first step toward healing. Your habits are not random. Your nervous system adapted to protect you the best way it could. And while those survival strategies may have helped you as a child, you don't have to stay trapped inside them forever. Healing begins when you stop asking, "What's wrong with me?" and start asking, "What happened to me?" If this video helped you understand yourself or someone you love, make sure to subscribe for more psychology content about human behavior, trauma, and the hidden patterns shaping our minds. And remember, survival strategies are not personality flaws. They are signs that someone once did whatever they could to feel safe.